When we're factoring a four-term polynomial, we have to factor by grouping. And we're looking for a common binomial. So we're going to group these first two terms and group these two terms. What can I factor out of 4n cubed plus 8n squared? 4n squared. So 4n cubed divided by 4n squared is n, and 8n squared divided by 4n squared is 2. What can I factor out of negative 5n minus 10? Negative 5 would be the greatest common factor. Negative 5n divided by negative 5 is n, and negative 10 divided by negative 5 is 2. Do we have a common binomial here? Yes, right here. Now if we continue factoring at this stage, well, we would factor out the n plus 2. That's what they have in common. And what's left over, 4n squared minus 5. If we have to factor 2w cubed plus w squared minus 14w minus 7 by grouping, we would group these two and these two. What is the greatest common factor of 2w cubed plus w squared? W squared. And what is left? 2w plus 1. What is the greatest common factor here? Negative 7. We're left with 2w plus 1. Do we have a common binomial? So if we continue factoring, we can factor out the binomial they have in common. And what do we have left over? W squared minus 7. So if we have to factor completely, we have to look at the coefficients, and the greatest common factor is 2. 2p, yes. 12p to the fourth power divided by 2p is, okay, 10p cubed divided by 2p is 5p squared. 36p squared divided by 2p is 18p, and 30p divided by 2p is 15. So we factored 2p already. Now we can use grouping to factor the four-term polynomial inside the parentheses. So what is the greatest common factor of 6p cubed and 5p squared? P squared. So we're left with 6p plus 5. What is the greatest common factor of negative 18p minus 15? Negative 3, and we're left with 6p plus 5. Now we still need to finish factoring, and our common binomial is 6p plus 5. So we've got the 2p times p squared minus 3 times 6p plus 5. To factor a trinomial by grouping, we have to group like this, and we want to find factors of the product of 24q squared times negative 25 that equal to 25q. So what's 24q squared times negative 25? Negative 600 q squared. We start listing the factors. -1 and 600, or 1 and -600. -2 and 300, or 2 and -300. And this continues, right? So the factors of -600q squared that add up, or that have a sum of 25q, is -15q and 40q. So we plug these in here, -15q and 40q. Now we just have to bring down the 24q squared and the -25. Now we have to factor out these two groups. What is the greatest common factor of 24q squared and 15q? 3q, and we're left with 8q minus 5. What is the greatest common factor of 40q and -25? 5, and we're left with 8q minus 5. Do we have a common binomial? Right here. So that means the common binomial is 8q minus 5, 3q plus 5.